The KRGS Doors Show, proudly brought to you by KRGS Doors. For all your shopfront roller shutters, roller grills, fold enclosures and bifold doors, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au. Welcome to the KRGS Doors podcast. I'm your host, Drew Blackman. The aim of our podcast is to talk to cool people with cool stories, whether it be our suppliers, customers, staff, other business owners, or people from different walks of life, and get to know them a bit better. If you're interested in coming on, drop us a line or email, or connect with us via Facebook, and we can have a chat to see what we can do. Today on episode 50 of the 2-year-old KRGS Doors podcast, I'm joined by KRGS Doors Managing Director Clayton Blackman, and we talk to Ella Boot, current ANBF Australian champion boxer with a 5-0 record. Ella tells us how she fell in love with boxing, what it's like to be trained by Hall of Famer Johnny Lewis, and what is on the horizon for herself and female boxing. I'll also let you in on our next episode's guest, but for now, please welcome to the podcast, Miss Ella Boot.
If this doesn't turn you on, folks, you haven't got a switch.
Ella, thank you very much for joining us on the KRGS Doors podcast. What is the Ella Boot story?
Okay, so I'm 23 years old. I was born in England. I moved to Australia when I was 7. I lived on the Sunshine Coast with my mum and dad. I grew up in the Sunshine Coast, Noosa. And then I moved to Sydney in 2018 to train with Johnny.
That Johnny is obviously Johnny Lewis.
Yeah, Johnny Lewis. Yeah.
One of the greatest, if not the greatest boxing trainer of all time.
And one of the greatest humans also.
Yeah, he's a fantastic human being, as everyone vouches for.
He is. Yeah, he's the best. I'm very grateful to have met him.
Yep, great man.
Yeah. I did karate when I was a kid, so I did that for 9 years. And then I transitioned into boxing after that. And now I'm living in Cronulla. I've got my dog Zali here with me and my boyfriend Zach. And we live together, but my mum and dad are up in Noosa still, so...
Jesus, Ella, you would have noticed a bit of difference, I suppose. You were young, though, but coming from England, living on the Sunshine Coast at Noosa, there would have been a bit of a change in temperature?
Oh, it was so different, yeah. Even when I go back now, I'm just so shocked by it, like the weather and everything.
Back to England? Back to England or back to Noosa?
Yeah, back to England.
Yeah, it doesn't get real warm over there, mate, does it?
No.
You spoke about coming from moving to Sydney in 2018. That was obviously to further your boxing career?
Yes, it was. Yeah, so I started boxing in 2016, had a good run in the amateurs, and then met Johnny in 2018 and then decided to move to Sydney to train with him.
So let's go back before the boxing career. What was the reasoning behind the family moving from England to Australia?
It was pretty much just my parents wanted a better upbringing for myself and my family. They just wanted me to have a better lifestyle, and yeah, that's pretty much the reason. Just lifestyle change, I guess.
So tell me, Ella, as a 16-year-old on the Sunshine Coast from England, how does a pretty girl like yourself get into boxing?
Well, from karate, I was in karate. And I achieved quite a few national titles and things. And at the time I wanted to go into the Olympics, but karate wasn't an Olympic sport, but boxing was.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation sort of thing. And then once I got into boxing, I just fell in love with it straight away.
Are your parents in martial arts or boxing or anything like that? Is it through the hereditary that you've taken that up?
Yeah. So my dad used to do boxing, so he was the one who transitioned me into boxing.
So you mentioned the Olympics there. You won a youth Commonwealth gold medal in the Bahamas in 2017. Only taking up boxing in 2016, and then in a year later you've won a gold medal at the Youth Olympics. What was that experience
like?
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, it was such an incredible experience. To be representing Australia in only my second year of boxing, it was something that made me feel really proud, and it was probably one of my greatest achievements. Looking back, I was so happy to have achieved something so early on in my boxing career.
Absolutely.
Was there any ever thought of representing the mother country?
Not really. I feel like Australia is home.
That's what we like to hear.
That's exactly what we like to hear.
So what is your current boxing record? If you can give us your amateur record and now that you're a professional record as well.
So my boxing record as an amateur, I had about 45 fights and 39 of those wins. And now in the professionals, I'm 3-0.
Quick disclaimer here. Since recording, Ella has had 2 further fights and currently sits 5-0.
And I'll be fighting next week for my 4th professional bout, defending my AMBF super lightweight title. And that one is going to be against a professional mixed martial artist as well.
Okay, whereabouts are they from?
I believe Melbourne.
Okay. So another Aussie.
Another Aussie. And what weight division is this, Ella?
This will be at super lightweight.
Yeah. Because you've had issues in the past, talking with Johnny, you've had issues in the past trying to find people to fight in your weight division, correct?
Yeah, I have had issues. I've had to step up weight divisions. Yeah, so I haven't actually fought at lightweight yet, but
what weight division are you happy to are you happy with? Like you feel you're best?
At lightweight, 61.2.
Yeah. If anyone's had the opportunity to see Ella in the gym, which I have, this lady can pack a punch at 61.2 kgs.
She'd sort you out.
Oh, well and truly, mate. Can throw them for that size, yes.
And just on the back of that, is it difficult finding training partners and then also finding opponents?
Yeah, it can be hard sometimes. But I think now, like in recent years, there's been like a really big increase in numbers of female boxers and other athletes. So I think that's really good. There's like a great group of girls in Sydney that I have sparring with now. So that's really good. Definitely a lot more down here in Sydney than there is up in Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ella, this fight, go on, mate.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say opposition's just the hardest part, like getting the right weight sort of thing as well.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Ella, this fight you got coming up next Wednesday night, obviously we're doing the podcast and before it's going to, this will go to air, but you're on the undercard. Who else is on the card on that night?
So we've got Taylor Harris is headlining.
Yeah.
We've got Taiwana Campbell, who's my main sparring partner at the moment. We've got Jess Messina's fighting. And I think there's another one, Jala Tomat, and I think Angel Russian.
Who's the promoter for this one, Ella?
This is a No Limit.
No Limit. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's the Rose brothers.
Yeah, the Rose brothers. Yeah.
They do a tremendous job.
They are very good.
They've put boxing back on the map here in Australia and even worldwide, bringing those guys over to fight the Tim Zoos and things like that.
Yeah,
so
they're doing a good job.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good. They've definitely done a lot for boxing in Australia.
Yeah,
certainly have.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, your dad transitions you into boxing and fully supports you. I want to get your thoughts on what's your mum think about you going out there and having 10 rounds that you've got to defend yourself and then punch, and then also what's your boyfriend think of it?
So my mum's fully supportive. She thinks she's just happy with me, having the lifestyle that I have. I don't drink alcohol, I don't go partying and things. It prevents me from doing those things. So she's fully supportive in my career, and she wants me to go all the way just as much as I do. And my boyfriend Zach, he's also a boxer, so I met him through boxing. We actually sparred each other the day we met each other, which is quite
Oh,
fun.
wow.
What a first date.
That's good for down the
Yeah.
track. How did you meet? Oh, in the ring?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have many fights? Oh, yeah, a couple.
I don't think he was expecting for me to be any good at boxing, so that was a bit of a shock to him. But he's also really supportive and does a lot for me as well.
At least,
so.
at least he can't
Yeah.
get out of line, mate, eh? You can sharpen him up. Exactly.
So just on that, you better give him a bit of a promotion. What sort of fight weight does he fight at, and what's his career like?
So he's had 2 amateurs, but he's been boxing as long as I have. He's been boxing for about 8 years. He is fighting, I think it's 66 kilos. But he's mostly career focused at the moment, but he definitely wants to get back in the ring again.
And what career is he doing?
He is a crane safety inspector.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's quite busy.
And
Go on, Drew.
that probably leads me into my next question. Obviously, unfortunately, female boxing isn't something that's on every week or everything like that, and you've still got to train. And what do you do besides boxing? What's your occupation?
So besides boxing, I'm studying. I'm doing a degree in high performance sport at university, and I'm also coaching at BT's Boxing in Caringbah.
What gym is Zach training at? A particular gym?
Yeah, he's training at Brett Townsend's gym as well. So
Okay.
where I coach, he trains.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where are you training out of? Were you just training with Johnny? Where at Bondi Boxing or
Yeah, at Bondi Boxing.
Bondi
yeah.
Boxing, which is at Redfern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we've been to. But yeah, it's a good setup there.
Yeah, it's very good.
And in your lead up to your fight next week, are you tapering or are you training every day or twice a day? What's the situation?
Yeah, I'm starting to taper now, so I've got a week to go.
Yeah.
Training once, sometimes twice, but definitely backing off the intensity, just keeping the intensity high, but reducing the volume of the training sessions now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
It'd be rude of us not to talk about the great Johnny Lewis, and obviously you've had a lot to do with him over your career so far. What do you feel Johnny's best asset is for you?
So yeah, Johnny, he's a very caring man, and I believe he always has your best interest, not only in boxing but in life.
Yeah.
And he's very he's like a mindset coach, not only a boxing coach. Like he really makes you believe in yourself a lot. And yeah, he's got all the boxing knowledge that anyone ever needs. So he's very funny the way he trains though. Like he doesn't give you too many tips. He'll give you maybe 1 or 2 things to work on. And then that'll be the focus, and then he'll sort of motivate you and lead.
He doesn't complicate things in the ring, does he?
Yeah, no, he doesn't overcomplicate it.
No, he just keeps it pretty free and easy there. And but he is a great life coach. His knowledge not just on boxing, but he's very. I've the time that I've known Johnny over the years, he's very calm.
Yeah,
I've never seen him blow up. And the most thing with Johnny Lewis, I've never heard him say a bad word about anyone. And I've definitely never heard anyone say a bad word about Johnny Lewis.
Yeah.
No, that's very true.
Never, ever.
And it's interesting, and I've heard him speak, and I've been lucky enough to interview him, and at the same time I interviewed you, Ella, at a sportsman's lunch. That he mixes with superior athletes, he mixes with the crook that's down the road, he mixes with everyday people, and just blends in same all the time. He doesn't change.
Exactly right, mate. Every time I've been with him, he's just a down to earth human being.
Yeah, he treats everyone the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Now, where do you see female boxing going? Obviously, it has been around for a while, and then we see the likes of UFC come along, and they promote hugely the female side of things. Where do you see female boxing heading?
I think it's just going to keep going up. Like, we're having our first all women's card this next week, so that's going to just be the start of more of that happening. More females fighting, more like more females fighting in categories, and more like shown, more promoted. I think it's just going to explode. I think it'll be.
It is good that the Rose Brothers, with No Limits, are just putting on a female only event. Like that's fantastic. I'd have to say that'd be a first in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially showing on Fox.
On Fox,
Foxtel
exactly right. You mean showing the premier sport. How many fights are on the night?
I think there's 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I even
5.
know previously in the past when they've had the cards and there've been some female undercards as such, and some of them have been the best bouts. There was one there, and I'm going to get a name wrong, but it's Tariq Sims's wife.
Her nickname's Sudsy.
Yeah, and another lady punched on toe-to-toe for 4 rounds and didn't take a backward step, and like the crowd was just loving it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's good to see, and all credit to them because they're in there warriors and they should get the exposure.
Yep,
absolutely.
Now, what's your walkout song?
It's this time "We Are the Champions" by Queen.
Nice,
easy, and then they can play that when you walk back in as well when you've got the belt.
Yeah,
that's that sounds good.
Yeah.
Away from boxing, how do you relax?
Well, I live in Cronulla, so I've got the beach down the road. I love going to the beach very regularly, especially in summer. I do surfing. I like taking my dog for a walk. I like going on road trips. And I like hiking as well.
I was going to say, I think that dog get down to the beach on a few occasions, has a few walks down to the beach.
Yeah, she's very spoiled. She gets to go to the beach all the time.
Couldn't imagine it, Ella. That dog's not spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah, typical Shire dog.
How many beach walks and how many surfs did you have before you were 7?
Oh, I wouldn't have had any, but maybe like 1 or 2.
Makes a difference, eh?
It is, there's not too many beaches like Cronulla over in the UK. So
Absolutely.
it certainly is.
That's
now,
funny.
to look at the end of our podcast, we wrap it up. We ask our fast 5 questions, which is just rapid fire, get to know you a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your last meal?
Pasta.
Carb loading?
Yeah.
Now, this isn't part of the fast 5, but what's your meal prep on fight day like?
Carbs. Lots of carbs.
So do you usually weigh in is usually the day before?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you may be starving yourself to meet that as such, and then it's just a free for all the next 24 hours or so to bulk back up?
It's more strategically planned, so I'll have carbs every couple of hours, about 50, 60 grams. And I just keep replenishing myself, rehydrating, getting the sodiums and salts back into my body and fueling my body with like the glycogen that I need to fight. My pre-fight meal's usually a banana and rice pudding, for an example.
This is not part of the Fast 5 either. Next Tuesday at the weigh-in, you won't have any issues making the weight?
No, I won't.
No.
I'm actually going to make lightweight.
Okay. There you go.
This fight. Yeah.
Easy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Your drink of choice?
Water.
Hydrate.
Hydrate.
Spoken
I don't really have
Spoken like a true athlete.
Yes.
Yeah. Very boring.
What is one of your weird quirks?
I seem like really shy and quiet, but like once you get to know me, I'm like really loud and outgoing.
I've never seen you loud and outgoing, Ella. I've only seen you shy and quiet.
Yeah. What about in the ring? I reckon.
Oh,
I reckon you shine
not
quite
in the
in the
gym.
ring.
Not
Yeah.
in the gym. She's not shining
Yes.
quite. No way in the world.
No.
Who is the most famous contact you have in your phone?
I think you guys know that one, Johnny Lewis.
Same.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw one more in here, and it probably should have went in the first part of it. Who do you look up to in boxing circles?
Johnny Lewis, definitely. In terms of boxers, Katie Taylor. I love the way she presents herself. Like she's always very humble and has good manners and respectful to her opponents. And technically, as a fighter, I really like Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Have you had the chance to meet any of those?
No, haven't.
So what is the lady you mentioned? Is she still fighting?
Yeah, Katie Taylor. Yeah.
So you may come the day that you have to go for her title or something like that.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
How good's that? Step into the ring with your hero.
Yes, and then clean them up, and then walk out to We Are the Champions.
That's right.
Sounds
Walk in.
good.
That's the
Yeah.
plan.
And finally, if heaven does exist, what would God say when you arrive at the Pearly KRGS roller shutter?
He would say, "I knew you'd take the risk, you bloody adrenaline junkie."
Sums it up. There you
Yeah.
go.
It does. Certainly does. That's about Ella. Ella, I really appreciate you coming on and giving us your time in the lead up to your fight next week. I hope everything goes well, not only for your fight next Wednesday, but in your future. You're one of the most determined, humble people that I've seen and met. You're always so genuine of your time and of people. It doesn't matter who comes along to meet Ella Boot. That she's always very giving and always very genuine. But mate, same again. Good luck. Thanks again, and I can't wait to see the result next Wednesday. And all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much for both for having me on here.
Not
No,
an issue.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Ella. And just to echo Clayton's words, and you mentioned that lady again, that being humble, if you think she's humble, she must be really humble, because you certainly are. You the time and yeah, you're just so giving of your time. Like we're a week out of a title fight, and here we are having a chat. So
We're privileged.
Appreciate
Very
it.
privileged.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate your time as well.
No problem, mate. You take care, and we look forward to catching up with you in a couple of weeks' time.
All right, sounds good.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ella.
thanks, Ella.
All the best.
You're
Ta-ra, mate. Bye.
Bye.
That brings the door down on the 50th episode in our chat with Ella Boot, current ANBF Australian boxing champion with a 5-0 record. If you want to follow Ella's career, jump on her Instagram page at Ella_Boot, B-O-O-T, at Ella_Boot. If you've missed any previous episodes of the KRGS Doors podcast, you can download them from our website, www.krgsdoors.com.au/podcast, or on your favourite podcast player, search the KRGS Doors podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any future episodes. This also helps boost our ranking and my ego. The other thing I suggest, if you've enjoyed the podcast, visit your favourite podcast player and leave a review or a rating. Keep your ears peeled for our upcoming next episode, where we speak to social media phenomenon Trevor Jennings. Trev966 has over 180,000 followers on social media and is a great storyteller. This is not an episode to be missed. I've been your host, Drew Blackman, and you've been fantastic for tuning in today. As always, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Thanks. Till next time. The KRGS Doors Show, proudly brought to you by KRGS Doors. For all your shopfront roller shutters, roller grills, folding closures and bifold doors, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au.